A dangerous mind game that President William Ruto is playing with Moses Wetangula, who is the National Assembly Speaker, Oburu Ginga, the party leader ODM, Kindiki, the Deputy President, and Joho Hassan, who is the Cabinet Secretary Mining, has been exposed today by Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua was touring the Western region today, and many people thought that now that the High Court had quashed his intentions of vying for president come 2027, that it was a sign or that it was a step of zipping Gachagua's mouth. Unfortunately, whatever happened did not zip his mouth, but it opened it so wide. Today, Gachagua did not mince his words. He exposed one of the strategies that William Ruto is using to lure many people into his camp, promising them same things and playing them, or rather playing with their minds. Every individual, to start with Kindiki, he has been the deputy president, therefore he cannot go back to vie for the governor or any other seat. Not Natembea, but Moses Wetangula equally has been the National Assembly Speaker, so don't expect him to go back to vie for the governor. And even himself, he said at some point that he will never vie for any other seat except the presidential seat. Oburu Ginga has been the senator, but because of the shoes he's wearing that are too heavy, the Raila Odinga's shoes, he feels that he has the balls equally to be the president of Kenya. Joho has been wanting for a long time to be the president of Kenya. So William Ruto knows these people, they have some unimaginable expectations. They feel at some point one of them could lead this country, and therefore it is now about a mind game. Ruto, when he goes to Joho Hassan, he tells him he will support him come 2032 for the presidency. When he goes to Mlima Kenya, he talks about supporting Kindiki to become the president after his second term in 2027. When he goes to Joho, not Joho, but Oburu Ginga, when they sit together because he needs the votes from Luo Nyanza and other ODM strongholds, he tells Oburu that he is the next president of Kenya. So it is about playing with their minds. How can you promise the same seat to 4 people? That is exactly what Rigathi Gachagua was saying today. Listen to him.
Sasa ati Faruku anaambia Wetangula Ruto atakuachia 2032. Ameenda pale mlimani, amemwambia Kindiki nitakuachia 2032. Ameenda pale Mombasa, ameambia Hassan Joho nitakuachia 32. Ameambia hii mzee anashindwa kutembea anaitwa Oburu ati atamwachia 2032. Si mtu ni muongo? Sasa kuna mwanamke mmoja anaweza kuwa na wanaume 4. Hii kiti moja ameahidia wanaume ngapi? Ni muongo si muongo? Wewe Kasongo, kabla huja kuja Western kuahidi kiti ya 2032, kabla huja kuja kuomba kura, ile ahadi uliweka kwa mkataba ya kilomita 1,100, kabla next year mwezi ya 8 kilomita 1,000 ndio uweze kuzungumza na hii Waluya. Waluya oi! Tumekubaliana? Tumekubaliana? Kasongo aende asiende? Mimi pale nyumbani nimeunganisha kura milioni 7. Pale Mlima 7 million. Pale Nairobi tumeunganisha milioni 3. Tukiweka pamoja 10 million. Tunataka watu ya Mlembe muunganishe kula milioni 5. Tuongeze na ile 10. Tushikane na ya Kalonzo milioni 3.5. Tunataka huyu jamaa tumfukuse na kula milioni 20.
So there, Gachagua is exposing one of the best strategies that William Ruto is employing. He thinks he's so smart that no one can realize, but today Rigathi Gachagua put it, or rather brought it up in the daylight, in the broad daylight, telling the people how President William Ruto has been lying to people, how President William Ruto has been lying to some of the people who are perceived to be kingpins of some communities, because he wants to lie them to the point where they show their solidarity and loyalty to him ahead of 2027. So the main aim of William Ruto is just winning the 2027 election. After that, mambo mengine itajipanga na wao wajipange kwenda huko. He doesn't want to care, but he is using a very dangerous mind game. I've been telling you that removing President William Ruto from the seat is not easy. It is not easy unless the opposition team sit down together without anyone drawing away from others, or rather pulling away from others, to make sure President William Ruto does not defend his next term. But if it goes on the way it is right now, President William Ruto will go back to his seat and no one will question that, because that man is a political strategist. That man is unpredictable. That man is so calculative. In fact, even about the Gachagwa's case, many people thought that Gachagua could be acquitted of the charges of impeachment, that the court could find, that the impeachment process was not constitutional, so that Rigathi Gachagua can be allowed to vie for everyone thought that could happen. But no one right now knows what William Ruto is thinking, because I'm very sure he had a hand in the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, and even the decision that was reached by the High Court. As much as we say that the judiciary is independent, but remember, the president is the one who budgets for them, and he can dictate whatever he wants. He can tell them what to do and what not to do. So if he wanted Rigathi Gachagua, acquitted of those charges as the impeachment process happened in 2024, that could have happened. But now President William Ruto did not want, and is strategizing on what to do, something that me and you don't know about. That's why I tell you, President William Ruto is so unpredictable. So he's using some of the weird strategies to make sure that he has won the coming election, hata kama ni kudanganya. This thing has made some people here delusional. Let's start with Oburu Oginga. Oburu, now that he was reinstated and ratified as the party leader of ODM, feels that he's William Ruto's equal. He feels he's now the new Raila. And as much as miaka imesonga, he feels re-energized because William Ruto is lying to him. William Ruto is telling him he will be something big after Ruto finishes his term, or the terms. But how will that be possible? You see how Oburu Oginga is doing. And that is why Oburu Oginga is so confused. Yeah? When he said that he does not want the chair, the position, or the ODM does not want the position of the deputy president position, many people questioned. Perhaps even President William Ruto questioned him and told him, we nataka kukuachia, you need to be the deputy president, juu nataka kukuachia hii kiti after 2027, and he believed that. So wakati Oburu Oginga alikuja akaona mambo si nzuri sana, tena akaacha, akasema nataka kuwa president, out of what William Ruto had told him. Mimi bwana nataka kuwa president, DM will fill the presidential candidate, and I'm eyeing that presidential candidate. After some time akagundua bana hapa, wajua ule ni mzee anaona mbali. Akagundua hapa hapana, akasema charudi tu kwa senate position. Now about Wetangula equally is now delusional. He feels that Edwin Sifuna is not enough, is not big enough, or that has not grown politically to become the president of Kenya. That's why nawaambia Waluya that is the only person who can be the president of Kenya, and that is what is eyeing come 2032. But the only way to presidency is supporting Ruto right now so that he can clinch power in 2027. But Edwin Sifuna, bada nawaambia, if those people want to be president in 2032, now me, that is Edwin Sifuna, wants to be the president 2027. So they should support him, so that when the time comes, they should equally support, he should equally support them for the president. Hassan Joho is another, I don't know, being that is filthy rich, he feels that he can rule this country. And he has been just thumping on how to rule the country, but then he's deluded. When you talk of Kithure Kindiki, you understand who Kithure Kindiki is. Fire see fire. I don't know whether they can mount a very serious campaign in this country. I really don't know. But then William Ruto has been lying. And hata kiti ya kukua running mate inaenda kukua ngumu sana come 2027. Inaenda kukua ngumu sana kwake William Ruto choosing who becomes his running mate. Anyway, I don't know what you think. Maybe you can write your comment down there in the comment section. Let us talk, let us discuss. Perhaps it can form a basis of whatever we're going to talk about in the next video. So if you're new here, consider subscribing, liking and sharing our content. Hit the notification bell so that you can be receiving notifications each and every time we bring you a new content.